we start with our top story this morning, where it's 5 suspects implicated in the Thabo Bester brazen prison escape are continuing their fight for freedom. It is the second day of their bail application in the Bloemfontein Magistrates Court. Former G4S wardens and a CCTV technician allegedly helped the murderer escape from prison in May of last year. Let's head back to our reporters, senior reporters, Slindelo, Masikane and Pule Letshwiti-Jones following that for us. Good morning to both of you out in Bloemfontein. Slee, I think let's come to you first. You're on the steps of the High Court yesterday as well and this morning. Just bring viewers up to speed very quickly. Where are we on this? And most importantly, no bail application for Dr. Magudumana.
No bail application at this point for Dr. Magudumana. Her lawyers coming to court yesterday telling the magistrate that they are in possession or have been informed of new evidence or crucial information that was going to perhaps affect her bail application, and in essence telling the court that they were not abandoning the bail application, but rather than reserving Dr. Magudumana's right to apply for bail at a later stage. She then proceeded to go back down to holding cells, and the bail applications for 5 others then continued before the magistrate, where of course their lawyers submitted affidavits in support of their bail applications, detailing their personal circumstances and why the interests of justice permit for their release on bail. What was quite interesting was also what was coming out of these affidavits in terms of their personal circumstances. Most of the co-accused don't have any previous convictions or pending cases, except for Pule. That is accused number 3 in the Thabo Bester escape saga. He's the CCTV technician, we understand, was on duty on the night of the escape and was responsible for switching off the cameras on that particular evening. From what we understand in his affidavit, he does have a previous conviction, meaning of course it's going to be a little bit more difficult for him to be granted bail. That previous conviction is from 2007 in relation to a stock theft conviction, and he received a 5-year suspended sentence. So what we're expecting today, Gareth, is of course the fact that the state is going to then continue with the opposition of these bail applications. And what we saw just towards the end of the day was the state calling the investigating officer, one of the investigating officers for this particular matter, who then started poking some holes in terms of the stories that were given in these affidavits. And so today we're going to see the continuation of the state leading with the evidence by the investigating officer. We understand they're going to now essentially show the court how the accused have been linked to the escape. But also, quite interestingly, is that the investigating officer also revealed yesterday that in fact Pule, accused number 3, the CCTV technician, had confessed and implicated many of those, of course, who we do see in the dock today. But we also do have some breaking news. However, we can of course check what is happening outside of court with our reporter Pule Letshwiti-Jones.
Yeah, absolutely. Slee, we're going to come back to you on that breaking news as well. Let me just quickly remind viewers what we're seeing at the bottom of our screen. Perhaps Slee or Pule can climb into this, either one of you, but maybe we'll come back to Slee on this one because she mentioned it. You'll see bottom of your screen at the moment. It is Dr. Chani, obviously known as Dr. Pashy, demanding an apology and a retraction from Home Affairs Minister Aaron Motsoaledi in relation to comments made by Motsoaledi. It was during a press briefing, it was back in April, if memory serves correctly, relating to the Thabo Bester saga, which is what we're talking about, of course. It was regarding the arrest in Tanzania of Dr. Magudumana, who was found in possession of 2 passports belonging to this Dr. Pashy, or that is Dr. Nshani, but she's known as Dr. Pashy, of course. That's the breaking news, so we'll give you some more details on that. But Pule Letshwiti-Jones, quite right, as Slee says. Let's come over to you. Yesterday, you were on police van watch. Where do we find you this morning? You were keeping an eye out for the arrival. Where are you this morning in Bloemfontein, and what do you have for us?
Very good morning, Gareth. I'm stationed outside the Bloemfontein Magistrate Court. Just yesterday, we were monitoring some of the movements that are taking place outside. We did see, of course, the auntie of the late Dr Pashy also, who was here to attend the proceedings, just to monitor what is unfolding. But of course, she was accompanied by, community organizations and political organizations as well, who were singing from the same hymn book, saying that all they want is for the proceedings to go smoothly and for there to be justice. But joining me now, speaking to the Free State Provincial Chairperson, Ms. Kopane. Thank you very much for chatting to us this morning, ma'am. Let's just start off firstly. The proceedings have been unfolding. You've been supporting the family for quite some time. Are you happy what you're witnessing so far as where we are right now?
Thank you so much for the opportunity. As HNSA, as you clearly said, we have been part of the court proceedings from the beginning. For now, I am happy and I respect the court proceedings. We're happy about what is happening. But as you said, we wish this thing could have been done speedily as possible, because we know that this is a matter of national interest. Everybody is interested and we want justice out of this matter, because we are here because we want to know exactly what happened to Katlego, who killed Katlego, and everybody, for the family in the society. For us to have a closure into this matter, we want only the honest truth. And I do believe this time the investigation officers, they will do their job, and the state, they've done the thorough, investigation into this matter.
Maybe let's just get the latest reaction, Ms. Kopane, where now Dr Pashy, was saying that she's demanding an apology from Minister Aaron Motsoaledi for the remarks he made. She's saying that her lawyers have served Motsoaledi with papers stating that his comments during the press briefing have resulted in their clients receiving widespread criticism. Are you happy with how this matter was dealt with?
Ironically, if you remember when Nandipa was arrested in Tanzania, she was in possession of her passport. And if you remember, according to Dr. Motsoaledi, the very same doctor, she's the one who went to Home Affairs to having the affidavit, how she lost her IDs. And if you remember even those events where they were making the birthday parties and whatever, it clearly shows that these are the people who have been working together in this company. She even clearly said with her own mouth that she gave them the passport while they were doing some business deals in America and whatever. So let them come and prove all this thing in the court of law, because only through the court of law we'll be able to know what is happening and the matter will be thoroughly investigated. But for now, to say these things just in the street, like in the grapevine, for me it doesn't serve any purpose. She's an educated lady, she's a professional person. If she wants to clear her name, why does she take the matter to the court of law? That's what we want. Come to take the matter to the court of law.
All right, thank you very much. It's Patricia Kopane, the Free State Provincial Chairperson. They're just giving us an update also, Gareth, regarding those breaking news there. And as far as we're concerned, we are expecting more residents who are supporting the family of Dr Pashy to be outside this court this morning, as well as those from the Bloemfontein Celtic fan club. You remember that the late Pashy was an avid supporter of the Bloemfontein Celtic fan club, and they've been, out of their numbers here, supporting the family during these proceedings as they unfold.
Absolutely, Pule. I think it's very important as well that we cover this from both angles, what's happening inside court, but also let's not forget as well, there is a victim and there is a victim's family also demanding answers and demanding justice as well. Pule, for you for the moment, thank you. Slee, let me come back to you, because you mentioned this breaking news, and I mentioned it a moment ago. Perhaps you can just add some more to this for our viewers this morning. This issue of the two passports found on Magudumana. This seems to be the big issue at the moment involving the Home Affairs Minister. What do you have?
So you would remember back on the 14th of April, we had a press briefing by the Home Affairs Minister, Dr. Aaron Motsoaledi, who was detailing, in essence, Bester's history, what the Home Affairs Department had found, and how, of course, Bester and Dr. Nandipa had been found in Tanzania, and how they'd been brought back to South Africa. He had also mentioned in that press briefing that Dr. Nandipa was in possession of two passports. Those passports belonged to Dr. Merakanjani, and like you said, said she's popularly known as Dr Pashy. So he went into some detail in terms of, how, Dr Njani had lost the one passport or had stated that she had lost a passport and applied for a new one, and that one of the passports that Dr Nandipa was in possession of was also an expired passport. And in this letter that, of course, we've seen as ENCA, it was handed to the Home Affairs Minister's office on the 8th of May. So that's just a few days ago. And in this letter, in essence, Dr. Njani says that she wants a cease, desist and a retraction from the Home Affairs Minister, and not only that, she wants an apology, a public apology from the Minister in terms of the comments he made, saying that in essence he was inciting criticism against her, in essence kind of alluding to the fact that she was a co-conspirator in some of the activities by Thabo Bester as well as Dr. Nandipa. We understand from this particular letter that the Home Affairs Minister, in essence, has about 5 days to make that retraction, to make that apology, or face legal action. Dr. Njani says that if this doesn't happen, in essence, by the 13th of May, then she does reserve her right to take legal action against the minister. So we will, of course, be following up with the department to find out exactly what their reaction to this is going to be.
Yeah, absolutely. A very important story, as well as it continues to develop around this Thabo Bester saga. We're going to be inside court. We will be outside court. We will not forget the victim, of course, but we'll have the live coverage later in the morning. Slindelo, Masikane, also Pule Letshwiti-Jones for us out in Bloemfontein this morning.